Hi, my name is Marisol Meyer, and I'm a third-year counseling psychology student at the University of Miami School of Education and Human Development. During my time in this program, I've been a very proud member of the CRECER Lab, which stands for Challenging Racism and Empowering Communities Through Ethnocultural Research. I've been able to engage in a lot of really amazing community-based participatory research projects, such as the Kalula Mentoring Program and the Strong Roots Caregiver Program via my time in CRECER. However, if you're interested in hearing a little bit more about those, you can Google us on the web. There's tons of information. I'm also happy to answer any questions you might have. As for my personal research interests, I'm really interested in exploring how social emotional learning and emotional intelligence can be used to promote equity. If it sounds like I'm taking on a lot with those things, it's because I am. There's a lot of ground to cover. Social and emotional learning and emotional intelligence essentially can be understood as skill sets, competencies, or just a kind of understanding of your own emotions when you're feeling them and using those emotions to guide your behavior to get what you want out of life. It also means being able to relate in a way to others that's really helpful and good for building up positive relationships. There's a lot of research to show that social emotional learning and emotional intelligence are good things to have. Most of that research has been done with weird populations, meaning white, educated, industrialized, rich, and democratic, which leaves a lot of people out. So I'm really curious to see how these constructs might function for people of color, for people that come from a lower socioeconomic background, so on and so forth. I'm also really interested in how social emotional learning and emotional intelligence skills can actually be used to promote equity in the world. Currently, I'm piloting a study that explores the relationship between emotional intelligence and implicit bias. What's implicit bias, you ask? Well, implicit bias can be understood as automatic attitudes, stereotypes, and prejudices that happen that we're not always totally aware of. And unfortunately, everyone has their own implicit biases for the most part. Because they're so automatic, they're really hard to detect. And biases that are hard to detect are hard to undermine and overcome. So I'm hoping that this research will maybe show that people with higher emotional intelligence are maybe better at controlling behavior and responses that pop up because of their implicit biases. Perhaps one day we can use emotional intelligence to actually become more aware of them and confront them in a way that makes the world more equitable. I'm very excited to be piloting this study, and I'm happy to share any questions that might have popped up while hearing about it. Feel free to reach out to me with my contact information below. Thanks for sharing some time with me exploring these research interests.